And finally, to my dad, who was really, in some sense, the author of this book. He was my initial inspiration, following in his footsteps to carry on his legacy and now share it with you. It is my dad's nuggets of wisdom that make up the framework for my Mailbox Money Mindset.
Hey, Paul Akers here. I'm in one of my favorite places in the whole world. I'm in Greg's studio down here recording Chris's book, Mailbox Money Mindset. Chris, this is an epic journey for you.
I'm so glad you're here,
and your
Paul.
first audio, yeah.
It's amazing.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
It's so much fun.
Yeah, and we just recorded the intro, and it was fun too, wasn't it?
Coming up here to Bellingham, Washington to shoot this was amazing. So to have the audiobook here and have you do the introduction is so special to me. It means so much.
Well, you know, you were smart enough to take me up on this offer to come up here and work with Greg, who's just world class in recording books, and just, it's a great experience. It puts you at a whole nother level to be able to do this.
Well, when you and I first talked about it, and you told me about what your dad told you, and it really resonated with me, what my dad shared with me, and then all the things you did to take action to buy real estate at a very young age, it changed your life.
Yeah, you know, I think the key is, you know, you don't have to be the smartest person to do this. You just have to listen to good, solid advice. And I listened. I didn't think of myself as a really smart person, but I did understand good principles. And I listened to my dad's principles as you listen. You're really smart though, and you listen to your dad's advice. I'm not so smart, and I listened to my dad's advice, and it worked out really well. You're even a different breed. You're in a whole other level above me.
Well, you inspire me, but then what you also shared with your son, that Colby's gone out and done it himself, and so now he's 24 years old, and he's bought his first property that has income.
And you saw it last night. We drove out there.
It was amazing.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's so when I see a 24-year-old young person doing this, I say, well, can anybody do this?
Anybody can do it if they have the drive, the wisdom to listen and follow good advice. And so here, you have your book now, Mailbox Money Mindset, that other people can take this incredible wisdom and they can produce astounding results. And it's not that hard.
Isn't that so cool?
Yeah.
That's why we did this.
Yeah.
We want to impact lives.
Yeah. And the next key, though, I also want to say is it's important that you find people like yourself, that young people find people like yourself and come to you and say, hey, Chris, I'm not sure what to do. Can you counsel me? Because, you know, you and I would do that in a second. We would walk people through that process. We would love to shoulder up with them and help them on this journey. They just need to have the ability to go to these people and say, hey, what do I do next?
I totally agree with that. So when you started buying houses, had your dad done that before? How did he know you needed to do that?
Oh, he had done it. Yeah, he had to, I think we had 3 rental houses on top of our home. Yeah, we had 3 rental houses that my dad did. And I remember him coming home. I remember one time he got laid off from work and we didn't have any money coming in, but the real estate was,
wow.
You know,
wow.
And I remember, and that was a big lesson because I remember my dad was not very stressed out because we had the rentals.
And so,
I remember that, yeah.
So when you bought your first house, you were about 24?
23.
23.
Graduated from college. Yeah, 23, 24, right in there. I graduated when I was 23, so I think we house sat for 6 months, so it could have been right on the cusp of 23, 24.
So there was sacrifice in there for you, but when you come up you moved to Bellingham, Washington, when you're in your 30s, you're able to build your dream house that you still live in today.
36 years old, I'm living in a house that most people could never even imagine when I was 36.
And a big portion of that's because of real estate.
It's all because of real estate. No, it's all because of real estate. There's no other way. The fast cap had nothing to do with the standard of living that I live at. Nothing. It was all real estate.
And then now fast cap.
And people think it's all from fast cap. I tell people, it's real estate.
That's amazing. Yeah. And that's where, when you and I started talking, that's when I said, you have to be the person who does the introduction to the book. It would be, and so when I asked you, what did you say to me? Yeah. When I asked you to do the introduction?
Absolutely.
Because
what did I say? I can't remember.
You said, this specific book, I learned so much from my dad because what my dad taught me. Yeah. And you're talking about what your dad told you. Yeah. So that was something to me was so valuable that there was a connection between you and your dad and real estate. So you said, it's in my DNA, and I usually say no to these things, and I'm going to say yes to this one.
Because people always ask me to do interest in books, and the book's really not that good, and I'm not going to do the whole 9 yards. I have to be a little careful.
Okay, so let me be honest. So when you said, I'm going to do the introduction to the book, I said, oh my gosh, I've got to step the game up for this book in a much bigger way because Paul's going to be involved in it, and I've got various reputations on the line, my family's reputation, And I want to make sure that the book's fantastic, but also because you did the introduction, I wanted to make sure we do it top notch. That's one of the reasons why we came up to work with Greg Otterholt in Bellingham, Washington, because we wanted to work with the best.
And you wanted his creativity.
He's amazing.
Which is fantastic.
So he does so much more than the audio. So that's what's so...
The audio is this much. It's all the background stuff that's so amazing.
I told him he's like a psychiatrist. He just sit down.
Exactly.
He's awesome. So...
You know, I was going to tell you one more thing.
Go ahead.
One of the other big things, too, that connects us together, we're kindred spirits, but I think the overriding principle that separates our way of thinking is gratitude for our fathers. Our fathers were not perfect. They had plenty of flaws, but we both deeply appreciate them and what they taught us.
That is so true. Paul, thanks for being a part of my book. It means so much. You're amazing.
You are too.
That's awesome. Okay. Thank you, Paul.